All right, today we're going to talk about Datomic. And look, this is a database that's fundamentally different from almost anything else you've probably ever seen. So let's dive right in and explore its totally unique approach to managing data, not as just what's true now, but as a complete history of facts.
So, what's the one big idea that really sets Datomic apart from the crowd? It's this core concept of treating your database not just as a snapshot of right now, but as a complete, living, breathing, queryable history. This quote just nails it. A time machine for your data. I mean, come on, that's a pretty bold claim, right? But here's the thing. It's a claim that the system is actually built from the ground up to deliver on. Just think about that for a second. With most databases you've worked with, trying to answer this is a nightmare. You'd be digging through backups, parsing complicated logs, because that data from last Tuesday, it's just gone, overwritten. Poof. But for Datomic, this isn't some crazy special feature. Nope, it's just a standard everyday query.
So, where did this whole idea even come from? Well, it comes from Rich Hickey, who you might know as the creator of the Clojure programming language. He launched Datomic way back in 2012. So, what exactly is this radical philosophy that makes time travel in your data not just possible, but easy?
Okay, so this whole time machine thing, it all boils down to a really fundamental shift in how we think about data itself. Instead of destructive updates, where the past just gets wiped out, Datomic is built on a completely different philosophy, accumulating facts. And here's the key difference, right? A traditional database changes information. You update a user's email, and the old one is gone, forever. Datomic? It just adds a new fact. It says, hey, at this exact moment, this new thing became true. But it carefully preserves the old fact as part of the historical record. Nothing is ever lost.
A really great way to think about this is like a financial ledger. You'd never ever take an eraser to a ledger, right? No way. You add a new line item to correct something or to record a new transaction. Well, Datomic applies that exact same logic to all of your data. The result? A complete, unchangeable history of everything that has ever been true in your system. Okay, so that's the big idea, the philosophy. But how is this actually built into the architecture? Let's pop the hood and take a look at how Datomic actually works.
All right, first thing you need to know. The fundamental building block here isn't a row like in a SQL database or a document like in NoSQL. No, it's a tiny, indivisible little piece of information called a datum.
So every single datum is just a simple statement of fact. That's it. It connects four things: an entity, which is just a unique ID for something, like user175, an attribute, which is a property of that thing, like user/email, a value, like jane@example.com, and, crucially, a timestamp, showing exactly when this fact was added. These four little parts come together to form one single, super precise, and totally unchangeable record of a fact. And this datum model, this simple idea, is what leads directly to all of Datomic's core principles. I mean, think about it. Because datums are never changed, the whole database is immutable. Because every single datum has a timestamp, the entire system is inherently time-aware. Then you've got this powerful logic language called Datalog for queries. And the architecture even splits storage from computation, which gives you incredible flexibility. Okay, so now that we have that foundation, we can get to the really cool part. We can explore Datomic's most famous and most powerful feature, the ability to actually run queries against the past. Let's go right back to our email example. So imagine a user's email changes a few times over the years. At time T1, it's one thing. A year later, at T2, she updates it. Then a few years after that, at T3, she updates it again. Now, in a normal database, what do you have? Just the last one. That's it. The history is gone. But in Datomic, each one of those changes is just a new datum being added to the pile. The old facts are never, ever removed. And this is what's so cool. It means you can query the database as of a specific point in time. You can literally ask the system, hey, what was Jane's email back at time T2? And it will give you the correct historical answer because the entire history is always live and just waiting to be inspected.
Okay, so this is all really cool, but who actually needs this kind of power? Why does this matter in the real world? Where would you actually use a database like this?
Well, as you can probably guess, it's a huge deal in high-stakes industries, places where data integrity and historical accuracy are absolutely non-negotiable. Think about financial systems that need a perfect, unbreakable audit trail, or healthcare, where you need an unchangeable record of a patient's entire history. It's also a perfect fit for things like complex knowledge graphs and modern software patterns like event sourcing, where your entire application is basically built around a historical log of what happened. So really, the bottom line is this. If your team is building something that requires bulletproof audit trails, the ability to do powerful analysis across time, and a really clear, logical data model, well then Datomic isn't just an option. It's a tool that was built specifically for you.
All right, let's bring this all together and just summarize what really makes Datomic such a fundamentally different kind of tool for managing your information.
I mean, when you put it side by side with a traditional database, the difference is just stark. Datomic accumulates facts. Other databases update and destroy data. Datomic preserves history forever. Others just overwrite it and lose it. This means auditability isn't something you have to bolt on. It's automatic. And time travel isn't an afterthought. It is a core feature.
And that really highlights Datomic's unique place in the whole database world. Sure, it can compete on things like performance, but its immutable first design puts it in a class all by itself. For any problem that requires deep analysis across time and absolute, rock-solid historical certainty, it's not just another option on the list. It's the purpose-built solution. So ultimately, Datomic kind of poses a challenge to all of us. It asks us to stop seeing our data as just this static snapshot of right now, and instead to see it as what it really is, a living, evolving story where every single chapter matters and is worth preserving.